top 10 best movies of 2022.
Hell yeah.
2022 was such a good year for movies. It was one of the best years of movie in like recent memory.
I think there were times in like June where I was like, this is already a great year for movies. Not to mention most of the movies I saw came out after that.
Exactly. And I had a top 10 that we ended up never publishing it. We had a top 10 in July. 2 movies only stayed in my top 10.
Let's see.
So,
I think 1 stayed here.
So, and those were
Maybe
really
2.
good movies. So the fact that like...
Oh no, 2 stayed.
So the fact that that we have to bump out all those good movies, that really tells you something.
And I think after this, I'm going to go ahead and just blurt out my 11 through 20 because they're all just so good.
Yeah, me too.
We can just say our honorable mentions after.
Yeah, we'll do it after.
But why don't you start with your 10 through 6?
Okay, yalla. Number 10, when I watched just last week, She Said.
Okay.
You were telling me that this was going to be in my top 10. I knew this was going to be in my top 10. I'm actually surprised at how low it is on my top 10, considering the movie that it is, because Gal knows that I love, Spotlight, Social Network, like this type of movie, I guess. So, yeah, I had a great time watching this movie. Heart-wrenching scenes.
Yeah, every actor is really good. Samantha Morton and Jennifer Ale in the small roles, and Zoe Kazan. Carey Mulligan.
Yeah, no, this honestly, this deserves to be in the conversation for, best picture, best director, everything that it is on the conversation for, best script, all of that, and yeah, I'm happy that I got like my real life story movie on with this one.
Yeah.
Maria Schrader does a fantastic job directing this movie. And yeah, Patricia Clarkson is fantastic. Andrew Brower steals
Andre Brower.
He steals every single scene he's in.
He's so good.
He's so good.
And also, I learned a fun fact that there's a voiceover of Donald Trump in the beginning, and they got the same guy who plays him now on SNL to voice him in that one scene.
They got
James Austin Johnson.
Oh,
who's the current guy.
Okay, it's not Alec Baldwin.
It's not Alec Baldwin.
I thought it was Alec Baldwin for a second.
Alec Baldwin appears in a voice cameo in a different movie that we'll talk about.
Great. I do want to mention Ashley Judd.
I didn't know about that choice, and that was a really strong choice to have her appear as herself.
That was a really strong choice. And I loved every scene she was in. She was fantastic.
You can see the courage in her performance, even though it's 2 scenes.
You really can. Number 9. Speaking of heart-wrench, Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
I'm surprised at how low this is too. Black Panther was one of my favorite MCU movies. I think I don't know if it was I think it was on the top 10, and ironically enough was pushed out by this movie. It is in my top 5 MCU movies of all time. It is a really, really, really good movie. I just can't put it over some of the stuff that I have here. But the way they dealt with Chadwick and all that, again, go watch our review, our spoiler review, everything in our channel. Great movie. Again, I don't want to watch this one again, but not because it's not good, just because it's so sad.
I want to watch it again right away, honestly. I had such a good experience with it.
For me, it was just so sad. So I am going to watch it again. For sure, when it comes out on Disney Plus. Did it come out already?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think it's smart of them to keep the theatrical run longer.
Yeah.
Because I think they know that's what stopped Multiverse of Madness from getting to $1 billion.
I don't think it's getting to $1 billion though.
We'll have to
see.
see.
It's like 800 already.
It's almost 900. I don't even know.
So anyway, fantastic performances. Letitia Wright really stepped up in this movie. And of course, Angela Bassett, tour de force.
Yeah.
So that's my number 9. My number 8, a movie that I watched just yesterday, Tar.
Okay.
I love Tar. This movie is so brilliantly made. I guess in the same vibe as like a Social Network, She Said, Spotlight kind of thing.
Even though it's not a true story.
Even though it's not a true story, fair enough.
By the way, this is the Alec Baldwin voice cameo movie.
There you go. So yeah, I had a fantastic time watching this movie. Todd Field blew my fucking mind.
I want to see his other movies now.
Me too. And I'll tell you what, I was really championing Michelle Yeoh for Best Actress. I am not so sure anymore. Because Cate Blanchett. Sorry, Cate. I almost said Kate Hudson. That's in another movie that we're going to talk about.
Right. Yes.
Anyway, Cate Blanchett gives one of the best performances I have ever seen. Like, flat out.
It's immersive. Her work.
It's crazy good. So yeah, that's Thar. That's my number 8.
Wow.
Number 7. This one was a lot higher. Before, like it was like 2 or 3 higher, but I've watched another couple of movies. The Woman King.
Okay.
I love
cool.
The Woman King. The Woman King was a really good movie. As much as I love it, I do understand the frustration because as much as they deal with what the Jehovah tribe did, I think they kind of made up that they kind of like felt bad about it and like they kind of brushed over the fact that they were the main tribe doing that in
Maybe.
Africa.
They made the Oyo tribe seem worse. I don't know how true it is.
Exactly.
But that's the
I
impression
don't know.
the movie gives off.
I don't know how true it is either. That's just the impression it gives. That historical inaccuracy aside, it is an important movie. It is a brilliantly written and directed movie. Fantastic action scenes. Fantastic acting work, especially from Lashana Lynch and Viola Davis.
Yeah, Tuso Badu is also
Yeah.
wonderful.
And yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. I haven't watched it again yet. But yeah, this is one of the ones that I think it's gonna go down in history. It's pretty fucking good. Number 6, Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
This is one of the few movies that I have watched more than once this year. Because I watched so many different things this year. There was no time to rewatch it. But I had to go back and rewatch this one. Such a good movie, man.
I saw it twice in the theater.
Yeah, me too. Such a good movie, man. Like, Tom Cruise proving that the movie star is not dead. Thank God.
What a man.
What a man. Even though, again, personal shit aside. Yeah, this movie made me feel like a kid going to the movies, which is super rare these days. Just the way it was built, with the effects and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the first Top Gun. This is miles better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone involved, round of applause.
Props.
That first scene, like that montage in the beginning, that was an homage to the first one, hooked me right away. I was in it.
Just how loud the auditorium was. I was like, bring it on.
Yeah.
It hurts my ears, but it's deserved.
Yeah, this is when we watched together, and
Yeah.
I think we both were like, just, oh fuck, we're in it.
I think 30, 40 minutes in, Alan whispers, it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Should I go to my 10 through 6?
Yes, go right ahead.
Number 10, Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Oh, good.
Again, loved it, want to see it again. It's a beautiful movie. Of all the celebrity deaths that have happened in my lifetime, I think Chadwick's is the one that stings the most. And this movie makes his legacy just a little bit more beautiful than it was before this movie.
Yeah.
Number 9, The Banshees of Inisherin. I can see this one being a bit of a modern classic. And Colin Farrell is terrific in it. I don't know if we're going to talk more about this movie, but it's so funny. The script is amazing. I really hope Colin Farrell gets nominated for an Oscar. Martin McDonagh's like quiz for
fucking fantastic movie.
For like comedic, for dark tragic comedy in this movie. Brendan Gleeson is terrific also. Barry Keoghan, Kerry Condon. That's all I'll say. Number 8, I won't dive too deep because you just heard Alan talk about Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
Really fun movie. Saw it twice in the theater and just made me love it even more. and I could see myself watching it many more times. It definitely reaches the heights of the last couple Mission Impossible movies and how thrilling and visceral that action is. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it for now. And number 7, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, really? It's that low?
Low, interesting. So it's definitely on Alan's list.
Fuck.
I love this movie. I think it had to sink in before it even made my list, but it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful visual experiences. The 3D, the epicness of it. Honestly, the visuals just deserve their own sort of thing because it's such an experience. Like, you feel like you're diving with them. You're hanging out with the team. It's terrific. And number 6 is, I think, the only movie that Alan hasn't seen on my list, which is The Menu.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, wow.
I'm watching
so
it next week
fun.
when it comes out on HBO Max.
It's coming out? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to watch this again. It's so much fun. It's a mix between dark comedy, satire, horror, thriller. Anya Taylor-Joy is always a queen. Ray Fiennes
Damn right.
kills it. Yeah, it's this great commentary, but it's also so entertaining and manages to get funnier and funnier as the movie goes. I want to watch it again really badly. I had such a good experience watching it. It was so good.
Awesome. I love your list.
Yeah.
And it is slightly different than mine. I'm watching The
Okay.
Menu next week, I promise.
Okay.
I couldn't go to the theaters, unfortunately, for that
All
one.
right, cool.
Number 5. You just mentioned it. Avatar: The Way of
Nice.
Water. I don't know how the hell this happened that Avatar is higher on my list than it is on yours. After all the shit
That's
we've been
hella
through this
funny.
year,
I know.
with me shitting on you for liking Avatar, and you being mad at me for not being more excited for Avatar 2. But whatever, man. I love this movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
I won't dwell too much on it, but James Cameron proves it again. It's almost
For sure.
It's almost at $1 billion, and it hasn't been even 10 days.
Mhm.
So, who are we to go against that man? Number 4, another movie that I watched this week, Triangle of Sadness.
Really, that high?
I love
Oh my god.
this movie.
Wow.
I love this movie so much. Yeah, this is the most I laughed in watching anything the whole year. Like, the whole year. That boat scene, I was barely laughing.
Did you build most of your list this last week?
What?
Did most of your list you watch like the last couple weeks?
No, there's only like 3 movies here.
But
from the last
it's a
couple
good
of
one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
But man, that movie is so good. So good. I'm kind of angry with myself that I didn't watch it before. I'm happy I watched it in the movie theater, though. I don't know how the hell that was still an option, but it was.
Yeah, I watched it 2.5 months before you.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it because I know it's not on your list.
I think it's a great movie. It's just not near my list. But I
Yeah.
still understand the praise and I agree with most
I
of
don't
it.
understand why it resonated so hard with me, but like, I miss laughing in the movie theater, I guess, and I rarely do. Like, you know this, you watch movies with me a lot. I don't laugh a lot when I'm watching movies. Like, I smile because I'm having fun, but like, actual laughter. And
Sure.
this movie has insane comedy. So funny.
Okay.
And the script is sensational. I love the directing. I love the cinematography in this movie. It's so good. Production design, everything. And this
Woody
is-
Harrelson was great.
Woody Harrelson was fantastic in this movie. And I don't know what's the director's name?
Ruben Östlund.
And I haven't seen him like any of his
Me
movies
neither.
before this. But now I really want to.
So they're very divisive and like very out there like this movie is, but I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, our film teachers were telling us like that it was one of the best movies of the year before I watched it, and I do believe them.
She did?
No,
Oh,
not her. Uri and Ayal.
I could see it resonating with the Israeli crowd a lot.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who liked it
Yeah,
as
my
well.
crowd was like laughing.
I'm sad now that I saw it in an almost empty theater at 9:30 p.m.
No, I went at like 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, and it was like it wasn't full, but it was like some people, and they were all having a good time.
My friend almost fell asleep. Like he liked the movie. It was just really late.
That's fair. If it's late, I've done that before. Number three, the movie that was my number one
Okay, I know
for
what it
6 months.
I know what it is.
The Batman.
Okay.
They finally got it right. This is, in my humble opinion, Dark Knight maybe aside, the perfect Batman movie. Um, it just looks so incredible, and it feels like you're reading the comic. And I'm so excited to where it's going. I'm kind of upset that it's not in the main DC universe, because I really would like to see Matt Reeves' versions of all these characters. But even if it isn't, just as a single movie, it's one of the best made comic book movies of all time. The soundtrack is incredible. The visuals are insane. The cinematography in this movie is like out of this world good.
Cinematography and the score are amazing.
This might be the one of the best cinematographies ever in a comic book movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
Not even a
easily.
question.
Not even a question. Yeah. And Robert Pattinson is a revelation as Bruce Wayne, as Batman. I hope we get more Bruce Wayne in the sequel, and I hope he grows more into the playboy bullshitter persona.
He was basically his character in The Lighthouse in this movie.
Exactly. So
He was
I
like,
hope
I'm socially awkward.
exactly. I do hope he gets more Bruce Wayne in that next one, but like he's a good enough actor that I know that he can do this like that. Like
Okay.
so yeah, that's my number 3. Uh my number 2 it's The Fablemans.
Okay.
Again, we have a whole review about this movie in the channel. So go check that out. But
Wait, now I
like
actually don't know what your number one is because I thought this was going to be your number one.
oh,
I have two in mind, or one,
so
maybe.
I figured you would know, but
I think. I'm pretty sure.
this movie is so fucking good. It's a movie about making movies. We love making movies. We love watching movies. So for us, great. Um, I think Steven Spielberg's gonna win the directing award for this one this year.
I hope so.
So yeah, I just love this movie so much. It's like near perfect. It's like 9.75.
So I work at a movie theater now, and this is the most popular movie because it's like an indie theater. We have Avatar, but people know it's a small screen, so they come to the Fablemans more often. Everyone who comes out thinks it's wonderful.
It is.
Okay, number 5, Nope.
Okay.
It's
fair. It's a good movie.
It's fantastic in my opinion. I think obviously the story is very simple, but the characters that inhabit this world and the eye that Jordan Peele sees it from are what make it so strong and so much fun. Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer, you cannot have enough of them together in this movie. It's a blast. I could definitely see myself watching it again, and the cinematography and the score are also really great. Yeah, I had a great time with this movie. And there's also a lot of layers with the images. I got so excited watching it. And number 4 is Tar.
Yes.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought like maybe Alan would find this one slow, but I'm really glad that you
Love
loved
it.
it as well. It's just a stunning work of art. It's a movie to behold. Like nothing happens for an hour, but it's still so amazing how the characters are written and this perspective that of the character that's that Todd Field invites you into, and then you find out it's the exact opposite, and what power and entitlement to art does to the way someone perceives
Yeah.
reality. It's like Kate Blanchett's work is just brilliant, and the way she handles long scenes and monologues and emotion, that some of the cathartic moments happen off screen even, but you really like it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. I could have seen it going on for longer because it's so
Yeah.
interesting to see
It's really good.
what's about to unfold. Number 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know it's not on
I
your
know
list.
it's not on my list.
Which just sucks because I absolutely love this movie, and I know it's like the most basic pick, but I think it deserves it. It's such an amazing experience. The way they came up with the story. If I had to compare it to anything, it's like a Pixar movie in live action, but with dildo jokes, and everyone's brilliant. Michelle Yeoh in particular, Kiwi Kwan, Stephanie Sue blew me away. Jamie Lee Curtis is having the time of her life. Better job than Halloween Ends, even in my opinion.
I mean, yeah.
It's a no-brainer. But yeah, like the Daniels bring their quirky, weird, dark humor into like a mainstream action tone and don't sacrifice either the art or the enjoyment. And now this is A24's highest grossing movie ever with $100 million.
Well deserved.
And yeah, I think it's well deserved. Number 2, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. So I saw this one at TIFF and I was eagerly waiting for it to come out on Netflix, and I watched it again.
To my disdain.
And does it? And
Everything you did that week just made me depressed.
wait, what? Okay.
Because I wanted to go to TIFF, man.
Oh yeah, I thought you said because I rewatched Glass Onion on Netflix. I was like, okay. Oh, that's true. But this movie's so much fun. Like the characters and the entertainment and the twists, the little hints about what's really going on, and then the climax is, I think, one of the most satisfying climaxes to a mainstream movie like this that I've ever seen, because it's so much fun and catharsis, and Daniel Craig is a beast. Janelle Monáe kills it. And I have a prediction. This is still on Alan's list, but I don't know.
You know how much I agree with you?
Is it number
this
one?
This is my number one
Wow.
movie of 2022.
Love to see it.
Knives Out was 1 year as my number one the year it came out. It was on my top 10, I think, but I don't think it was.
It wasn't
that
number
high.
one for me either. It wasn't high. But I still liked it
I think
a
it was
lot.
probably in the latter part of the top 10. But
Still great.
Glass Onion blew me the fuck away. This movie is so good. I wasn't bored for like a second. Daniel Craig does something to Benoit Blanc this time around that he did in the first one, but like I feel like in this one he like just really turned it on. Like crazy good performance.
Just every time he says a line that you feel like can get posterized, there's this excitement that gets into you. Like the way he delivers his lines. Again, Janelle Monáe is almost equally good. She steals the show. And Ed Norton doing his best. Kate Hudson, Catherine Hahn, everyone's terrific. Even like the visuals. I think this is Rian Johnson's best looking movie, besides maybe like the big visuals in The Last Jedi. Just
yeah,
the
I was
costumes.
gonna say I think Jedi looks better.
No, maybe The Last Jedi, but I mean like just the costumes and the production design. Some of the best of the year, and we have a lot of period pieces this year too.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. My favorite part was the script. I think this was incredibly well written. But that coupled with the crazy beautiful framing and the crazy beautiful like imagery in that movie, and just again the fun. I was talking about laughing my ass off in Triangle of Sadness. I laughed so hard in this movie, so hard. This movie is so like it's so funny and so poignant and so important and so just like societally like I don't even know how to explain it. You should watch that movie. It's on Netflix for free, basically.
I think this and The Menu are also part of why I was a little harsher on Triangle of Sadness, which I still think is a great movie. But I had already seen two movies which I thought were better about the uber rich. So I was like, oh, I just saw this, but still a good movie. But Glass Onion, back to what you said about the script. I think it's one of the best of the decade scripts so far.
I agree.
I hope Rian Johnson gets a second nomination for the script.
Yeah, talking about that, I think it's probably one of the best movies of the past 20 years when it comes to like talking about like the filthy rich and all that.
Yeah,
it's definitely better, I think, than Don't Look Up, and talking about like the upper class like that, and because it's I don't know, man, you never feel like you're being lectured to. It's just funny and smart, and you always get the joke, and like Yeah,
and some of the visual jokes too.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
like there's a scene with hot sauce that makes you laugh, or some amazing celebrity cameos that I think are some of the best celebrity cameos of all time, including one with Door, which I won't spoil if you still haven't seen it. Watch it on Netflix
It's
because
a funny movie.
I hope it's number one still, and I hope it's number one for like
I think
until
it blew up on Netflix.
I hope it's number one until like an actual good movie comes out, not till like some new shit fantasy movie that they make comes out.
Can I guess which one is your number one?
I think you can say it.
The Fablemans.
That's right.
It doesn't look that good in the art, but it's the Fablemans.
It looks good as a movie. So we talked a lot about this movie when Alan mentioned it as his number two. Ours are flipped, but I mean, if we're talking enjoyment, it might be Glass Onion.
Film Fanatics.
If we're talking a movie, The Fablemans has got to be a modern classic. As soon as there's a scene about 30 minutes in where I was like, I'm watching a masterpiece. Michelle Williams might still be like, I hope she's still in the discussion for Best Actress because she delivers, I think, her best work ever.
Yeah.
Seth
Sucks
Rogen.
for her that she's in the same year as Star and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Because she's not getting the conversation with those two.
If it were up to me, she would. But Paul
no,
Dano.
I mean in general, not up to me or yeah.
I'm saying if it were up to me.
Yeah.
Paul Dano, also Seth Rogen, Gabriel LaBelle, Judd Hirsch in his one scene. It's terrific.
Still think he's gonna get nominated.
Yeah. He's great. And I also went back and saw the first movie he got nominated for, Ordinary People from the 80s. Great movie, directed by Robert Redford. So this would be its second nomination. I feel like it might happen now, even though he has the same amount of screen time as like Judi Dench in Shakespeare in Love, for reference, which she won for actually. But enough about Oscars. This movie was just so touching. There's some scenes that really the emotion just gets to you. And and the way he frames the shots too. They're just basic settings that in any other filmmaker's eyes would look like just another period piece. And here he makes it look like a fairy tale. Yeah. I mean, the movie is called The Fablemans, and he makes it feel that way. He makes us grateful to see his own experiences, and it's honestly like in the discussion to be top 10 Spielberg movies.
Yeah, listen. Whenever you talk about this movie, I can just like shut up and listen, cause like you're just never wrong when you talk about this movie. And
you know what's sad? It's his lowest grossing movie ever.
Yeah, because today's
because it came out at the same time as Glass Onion, Black Panther, and Avatar. But unfortunately, West Side Story bombed also.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's 2 years in a row where I have a Spielberg movie as my number one. Just in case you're wondering who my top 3 favorite directors are, Spielberg's up there.
We're not talking about that since I forgot to put him on my list. He's definitely on my top 10, okay? Come on.
Okay. Honorable mentions you want to throw out there?
Yeah, let's throw some honorable mentions at you guys. I'll start with mine. I'll just run through 20 to 11, okay? And then you can comment on it in general, and I'll do the same for you.
Sure.
So, number 20, just so people don't complain it's not on my list. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
About time. Better late than never, 20.
Yeah, I did like this movie. I just didn't have the connection that most people did. But I do hope it does well in the award season because the Daniels deserve it, and I really want Michelle Yeoh to win, but now that I've seen Tar, I'm not sure.
She's winning the Golden Globe for sure.
Yeah. Number 19, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
That's a fun one.
Fucking funny movie again. Number 18, Prey. This fell a lot compared to where it was in the first semester. It was on my top 10. Number 17, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Very good movie. So far, I haven't watched like 2 or 3 animated movies yet. It is my best animated movie of the year.
For me too.
And usually I have more animated movies on my top 20, like way more. This was a very weak year for animation.
Yeah.
Number 16, Nope.
Okay.
Again,
That's still a solid placing.
really good movie. Again, I just think it didn't resonate with me as much as it did with you.
I
Like
remember
same
you loved
vibe.
it as much as me when we first saw it.
No,
Maybe
yeah,
it fell
for
off
sure.
for you.
Yeah, it fell off. Like comparatively as well with like all of the things that are on top of it. Most of them I seen after it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened with. We'll get to it, but it was a movie that was on your list.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
15, Barbarian.
Oh.
This movie, I had such a
Over
blast
Nope.
watching this movie.
I thought it was
Such
okay.
a
I
blast.
understand the love, but I also kind of don't. Like, it was fun, but it was kind of ordinary.
No, I love this movie. It's so fun, and it's like it's good to have a horror movie here because I think it's might be the only one.
Unless you
Uh,
count Nope.
Yeah, I guess. Number 14, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay.
Again, really good movie. We'll talk about it more in the weeks to come. We have a Meredith
Yeah.
McDonough special episode coming up.
That's going to be fun.
But I'll tell you what, I really like this movie. Number 13, All Quiet on the Western Front. This movie also very, 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 really good. We already reviewed it. It's on one of our episodes.
With Hunter and Jacob.
Yeah, the same one. Actually, our most watched episode of all time on YouTube.
Yeah.
The one that we also reviewed, The Woman King, and what else did we
Everything
review?
Everywhere All at Once
Everywhere
and The
Else
Good
All at
Nurse.
And
were
The Good
also on
One.
that episode.
Oh yeah, we reviewed a lot of shit in that episode.
Yeah.
Number 12, for all of my bar mitzvah G's out there, Cha Cha Real Smooth. I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
It's such a fun time. And as a previously known Jewish boy making bar mitzvah, I had a lot of
It was relatable.
PTSD of
Oh.
relatability. What's positive for PTSD? Memories, I guess.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Number 11, the movie that broke my heart not to put in my top 10, The Northman.
Okay. We have a lot of the same, actually. So 20, She Said, which was your 10.
Yeah.
19, Hustle with Adam Sandler. Really
haven't
fun
watched
movie.
it.
So much fun. I wouldn't quite put it with like the Creed movies, but it's such a fun sports movie.
Nice.
Really uplifting, and Adam Sandler's terrific. 18, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, almost the same. I had it 17.
17, The Woman King. 16, Cha Cha Real Smooth. 15, The Northman. 14, All Quiet on the Western Front. 13, the movie that made me cry the most of any movie in my life, Till.
I haven't watched it yet.
Damn. 12, also you haven't seen this one, I know, but The Whale.
Yeah.
Also almost made me cry. And everything you've heard about Brendan Fraser in this movie is true. And 11, my heart broke to not put The Batman on my list,
Fair.
because I loved it so much when I saw it, but I decided to put Wakanda Forever at that 10 instead.
Fair enough. Yeah, this was a good year.
We have
for
a lot of
movies.
similar on the whole 20.
Yeah. Extra honorable mentions: Doctor Strange, See How They Run, and Bullet Train for me.
Okay.
Just I wanted to throw those out there because they were really good.
Film Fanatics. From the silver screen to your earphones with Alan Azulay and Gal Balaban.